Welcome back. Today we're doing 6.3 trigonometry. So in the previous lessons we learned how to find a side length of a right triangle given two side lengths using Pythagorean theorem. We also found two side lengths given one side length on special right triangles, the 30, 60, 90 and the 45, 45, 90. Today we're going to be given just one angle and one side on a right triangle. We're going to find another side length. Now, in order to do this, we need to understand trig ratios. So there are three ratios we're going to learn today. The first one is sine. Sine stands for the length of the opposite side divided by the length of the hypotenuse. Given a specific angle, no matter the size of the side lengths, you will always get the same ratio if you do opposite divided by hypotenuse as long as the angle A is the same angle measurement. So that is the idea of the ratio. So the sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse. To remember this, we do SO, which is sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. The next one is cosine. Cosine is adjacent divided by hypotenuse, adjacent being the side touching angle A in this case, but it is not the hypotenuse. To remember cosine, we do cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And our last trig ratio we're going to do today is tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So to remember this one, it's TOA. Tangent equals opposite over adjacent. So we're going to use this to find side lengths, but we're going to start with just finding the trig ratios. So here in example 1, it says find sine of S. So sine stands for opposite over hypotenuse. What we always want to start with is finding the angle that we're going to be taking our point of view from. So here's angle S. And then we label the opposite, the hypotenuse, and the adjacent in order to figure out what part of the triangle we actually need. So the side opposite of angle S is RT, which is 63. I'm going to go ahead and put an O there for opposite. Across from the 90-degree angle is our hypotenuse, RS, or 65. And that leaves 16, or ST, to be our adjacent. The question was sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So our opposite is 63 and our hypotenuse is 65. So the sine of S equals 63 over 65. And again, in a bit, we will be able to use this to find side lengths. To do another example of trig ratio, let's find cosine of W. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, but we're going to start with angle W. The opposite side is 18. The hypotenuse is 30. So the adjacent is 24. So we're asked for cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's 24 over 30. Now these do simplify, so we can go ahead and simplify cosine of W, or 4 over 5. So now let's use this to actually find some side lengths. So our next example, we're going to find the side length that's asking for us to find x. Now the angle that we have our perspective in is the 58 degree. We're going to start with opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent, just to figure out which trig ratio we're going to use. If our angle is 58, the opposite will be blank down here. Our hypotenuse is 17, and our adjacent is our x. We're going to use cosine because we have x, which is a, and 17, which is h. And cosine uses a and h. So cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent is x. The hypotenuse is 17. And our angle is 58. So we can substitute that in to our cosine. To solve, we're going to solve for x, isolate the variable. It says x divided by 17. So we're going to do inverse operations. We're going to multiply by 17. So x is equal to 17 times cosine of 58. We're going to use our calculator. We're going to make sure we're in degree mode because this is 58 degrees. And then we just type in 17 times cosine of 58. And we get 9.0 when rounding to the nearest tenth. So there's one example. I want to get you one more. So the idea here is we have 59 degrees. The opposite is x. The hypotenuse is blank. The adjacent is 18. Since the hypotenuse is blank, we're going to use O and A, which is tangent. And again, just so you can see it, 59 degrees opposite is x, hypotenuse is blank, and the adjacent is 18. So tangent of our angle 59 equals opposite, which is x, divided by the adjacent, which is 18. Same thing here, it says x divided by 18. To solve for x, we're going to multiply by 18. And we're going to type it in our calculators in degree mode. 18 times tangent of 59 is 30.0. All right, so that's the basics of trigs and finding side lengths. We're going to practice this, and we're going to push it a little bit further next time.